Oh, okay. So, hey, hi there. So, a couple things I'm working on today is, well, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about this sketchbook that I started a couple days ago, and I don't think I did a video on this one, but I did a video, a little YouTube short on this painting, and then I did this video yesterday, um, demonstration video on these two paintings, and just kind of introduce you a little bit to the sketchbook. But I'm really excited about the sketchbook, so I wanted to tell you a little more about it. The other thing is I'm actually practicing two, two camera perspectives. So I've got the camera looking at me, which my setup's not that great because I can see in the top right that there's a little bit of the other camera. So I'm working on that whole deal. But so that there's a top camera that's pointing down right now at my little sketchbook. And then there's me talking to you in the front. So this is new to me. I'm learning. Anyway, what I wanted to tell you about this sketchbook is that uh, I talked a little bit about it, how I utilize past artwork. Let me just open it up to a page. So I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can kind of see some shadow of that past artwork. So what I did was I took my past artwork and I just picked some, well, actually cleaned out my acrylic palette by just painting like solid colors on the pages so that I could reuse it and make art over it, because I do find it exciting and interesting to paint over a brightly colored solid base and just kind of see what develops, because I find it interesting. I'm an intuitive painter. I find it interesting the way that the color choices develop based on what the background is, and so I like it, right? So that's just that. But what I decided to do this time, since I had just, I was out of sketchbooks, was that um, I would turn it into a little sketchbook, because I usually have a bigger one and a little one, and then my regular paintings that I just do on a full whatever size, 9 by 12 or 11 by 14 or whatever size I decide to paint. But the majority of my work is done on these little sketchbooks because they're littler, they're faster, and I could just get more ideas and artwork out. So I didn't have a little one, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to make this little one. So if you don't know, I have a class on how to make these, make your own little watercolor sketchbooks. And the girl that taught me said that once you've made your own, you'll never go back to buying them. And I haven't because I can use the paper I want, I can make the size I want. I'm already buying the watercolor paper, so I have it, and I'm not limited. So I do have a class on that if you're interested. So that just, it's not a very long class. It's on sale for $10. So I made this book with it, and I like to, like, one of these smaller ones, I like to tear the edges. I like the torn edges, so you can see that I have some torn edges here. And yeah, it's cool, right? So then I also, in this one, just kind of arranged it so that the acrylic painted would be on the outside. And then the other thing about this that I wanted to tell you about is that when you paint gouache, well, anytime you paint gouache, okay, it's a water soluble medium like watercolor, so if water gets on it, it's going to get ruined. But what I do to, hold on a second, I'm going to grab it. What I do to overcome that is I use, not all the time, because when I sell my originals, I just put a note in there, this is due to the nature of the materials, you need different, this is best framed under glass for protection, because I don't want it to get ruined, right? But sometimes, like in a situation where it's on the cover of my sketchbook here, I will use Dorland's wax, which is just, I like it the best. But sometimes I'll use a Krylon spray or whatever. But what I like about the Dorland's wax is it's not really glossy. It's it's more of a satin finish, and then that protects it, so it's not going to come off. So that's cool, right? So there's that. and that'll work on it'll even work on watercolor. I really like it on watercolor because I don't know about you, but when I first started painting with watercolor, the thing that drove me insane was that the watercolor would look so pretty. The painting would be so pretty, and then it would dry and look like dog shit, right? Um, so the Dorland wax brings back that pretty. And just a hot tip for y'all, you have that problem too. So anyway, that's that. So and then the back sides of these paintings didn't really have anything on them, so they've got a little texture going on as well when I start utilizing that, and that itself is just exciting to me. Just work it in there, right? Like, there's no perfection here, right? And the thing about art is you're only gonna get better by producing more art. And the people, like every artist that I've ever worked with, as in I teach classes and I work with kids and I work with adults, everybody always hates their own stuff at first. Sometimes they love it, and some people are just like, wow, that's pretty impressive. When the first time they do something right, you're just like, oh my gosh, right? But they don't ever think that. And trying to get them to understand that what you have to do is stick with it and you're only going to get better, not worse. Yeah, so these little imperfections, I like them, and there's other people that like them, and there's other people that are going to like your style. And a lot of times I see these things, how to find your style. Your style is just what you can produce. That's your style, okay? You are a unique individual, and nobody is going to paint like you paint. So nobody's going to create art like you create it. So don't even worry about that. Don't worry about it. That's what I say. That's what I tell my students. And then I also say, just if you don't like something, just do it again. Just keep producing art, and eventually there'll come a day where you like it, right? So more like, start it for the pleasure, start it because you're interested and it's relaxing and it's fun and enjoyable, and don't worry so much about, is it good, is it not good? Yes, it's good, it's you, it's great. Okay, so anyway, I like this book, and I just wanted to kind of show you, and that's what I wanted to jump on here. I didn't mean to come on here and give you this pep talk about keep creating art, right? But I wanted to show you this sketchbook because I'm so excited to work in it, and so far I've loved every piece that has come from it. So the cover, wait, can you see it? Let me see if I can find where that other side that is. So they do this is what I started out with as the cover. That's the same piece of paper that's on the cover. And then, these are I just threw my favorite colors on there. I was like, well, I don't know what to paint on the cover. It's so important because it's the cover, right? But, yeah, I just started throwing them on there, and I just love it. I love it. I find it exciting. I love these colors, and I thought, I'm just going to use colors I love, right? So then I went to this next page, and I thought, well, I'll just do my daily, when I don't know what to paint, this is what I paint, and I do have a class on that too. And it's basically a template that I have developed to overcome artistic blocks and encourage daily practice, because that's really what's going to make you get better, is daily practice. And then I did these two yesterday, and I made that video. And then I know I touched on this book a little bit, but I didn't fully touch on it, and so I wanted to jump on here and not only practice the 2-camera perspective, but also tell you about this little watercolor journal that it's not necessarily watercolor, it's an art journal. So I call them watercolor journals because I use watercolor paper, and I could use watercolor on them, but they're just really art journals, and I use a variety of art mediums, and you can too. What happened was, I am in love with watercolor. I have like a ridiculous amount of watercolor, right? Like no person should have. Like, I'd watch these videos and I'd say like, nobody needs this many watercolors, but I do this YouTube channel where I review them, so therefore, and I'd be like, you know what? I don't drink and I don't smoke, so guess what I do? I buy watercolors. I have so many watercolors, right? And but it's not even really, it's one of my favorites. I do enjoy watercolor a lot, but I like painting, and I like gouache a lot too. Like right now I'm working a lot in gouache, and I did take a break and do acrylics for a while, but It's not my favorite because I ruin my clothes, I ruin my workspace. It's messy, it's dirty, it ruins things. And I don't really particularly enjoy this plastic fill. But you know what's interesting as well? This cover that you're looking at right now, that is golden, I forget what it's called. So that's going to be different to paint on than, for instance, this cover that I painted on, which was it's not flat. It has a shimmer to it. Well, yeah, it's like a semi-gloss. And you can see that when I was painting on that, is that the one I was painting on? No, I was painting on something else. Was it? I don't know what I was painting on. It was yellow. You can see a little bit of the yellow under there. Anyway, the shinier stuff is going to not stick as well, and that's where you're going to get those cool textural effects. So this whole sketchbook is exciting to me to work in because depending on if I'm working on this side, I'm going to get a different result than if I'm working on this side, because this side has a satin finish and this side has a matte finish. And so just the whole nature of this particular art sketchbook is exciting for me to work in, and that is what I wanted to share with you all. And yeah, thanks for watching my video. I'll talk to you later. Bye. P.S. And the third thing is getting comfortable in front of the camera. Thanks for checking out my video. Please like, subscribe, blah, blah, all the things you do on the internet cost you nothing. Thanks. Bye.